Star Wars Jedi Survivor released earlier today, and first of all I just want to say a huge thank you to the EA Creator Network for providing me with the code for the game. At the moment I've played about 5 hours of Jedi Survivor so far, so I thought I'd give a bit of a first impressions review based on the experience that I've had thus far. This video will also be spoiler free, so if that is something you are concerned about then do not worry, because I will not be including any of them in this video. First of all, I wanted to talk a little bit about the combat. The combat is very similar to that of Jedi Fallen Order that we all came to love, and obviously it's expanded into new stances, and that is absolutely a good thing. The combat in Jedi Fallen Order was fantastic, and I really don't think you should mess with something that isn't broken, so I already feel as though they've done a really good job. At the start of Survivor you actually start with 2 stances, which is the single blade and double blade which we had in Fallen Order. But then pretty quickly into the game you then do get the dual wield stance, so there are 3 stances that are genuinely very unique and very smooth and fun to use. And so far, and rather unexpectedly, my favourite stance at the moment is actually the double blade. And my least favourite at the moment is the single blade. The single blade is pretty much exactly the same as Fallen Order, which I'm not really too surprised at because it's obviously the same Jedi using the same abilities and style. But the double blade is so much more proficient and smooth than it was in Fallen Order, so I have a huge amount of fun using that. And then the dual wield is also very fun to use as well, and I'm a big fan. And that was something I wanted to be in Fallen Order, so I'm very glad to have got it now. So far I haven't got to the point where you do get crossguard and the blaster, but I am very much looking forward to getting them at some point. With regards to the combat, you also do have force powers as well, and they are again very similar, but this time better and more expanded, which is also a very good thing. The force powers and the way you use them, whether it was in combat or puzzles or anything else, was really good in Fallen Order. And like the lightsaber stances, they've really built and expanded upon those systems, which I'm a huge fan of. So far I haven't had anything particularly new besides the mind trick, which is in the game called Confusion, but that's really fun to use, and I have no doubt that there will be other abilities to learn in the future of the game, so I'm really excited for that. With regards to the combat, you do also have companions from time to time, which is really cool. Companions was something that I was really hoping would be in Fallen Order, but obviously that wasn't the case. So my biggest hope for Survivor was obviously to then have this companion system, which obviously we do, and it's really fun because there's lots of great dialogue between Cal and the companions in the game. And you can also have a system where you choose who your companion attacks and kind of what they do and assessing with the environments and stuff. So it's really cool that they get to do that, and I really cannot wait to see more of Bode and Merrin in the future of the game. Moving on now to the cosmetics, that's something that I'm hugely passionate about, and we knew how deep it was before going into this game, but I really didn't understand just how deep it was until I actually started playing this morning. Now with some clothes from some of the footage we saw a few weeks ago, we already knew that you could change the colours of some clothing, but I didn't realise you could do that with literally every single one. So like the deluxe edition for example, that yellow jacket from Luke for example, you can change into like just different colours, and that blew my mind when I first saw it this morning because I really wasn't expecting that. But then if you look at the lightsaber in BD1, you can change like primary, secondary, accent, and for the lightsaber the grip as well. Like you can just have so much playing around with all of the colours and the parts, and again we knew we could do that with the parts, but I wasn't so sure about the materials and the colours and whatnot. So being able to do that and having different material sets is just, honestly, it's going to sound a bit cheesy, but it's pretty much a dream come true for someone who's a huge cosmetics fan like I am. So I think Respawn have just done an incredible job with that, and I really don't know how they could make it better. As for the world building and the tie-ins and other things, there's just so much to do that either looks back to Fallen Order or kind of ties into other stuff, which again, as a huge Star Wars nerd, is just so much fun to be able to listen to and just essentially experience. For example, the game starts in Coruscant and there was a stormtrooper that mentioned a bar that had the name Augur in it. Now, if you cast your minds back to Fallen Order, Project Augur was the Imperial excavation project on Zepho. So as soon as I heard that, that was just awesome. But then it's, you know, there's loads of other little things like that. But then there's also just big reference to Cal's mission on Kashyyyk when he freed the Wookiees in Fallen Order and just other stuff. And if you're a Star Wars fan, you're just going to absolutely love hearing all of those different things. As for the story, and obviously keeping it spoiler free of course, it's so far really engaging, and I've actually just got to a point where I finished before recording this video, and it literally blew my mind. I really wasn't expecting it to happen, and I'm obviously not going to say any more, but there's been loads of action, loads of teasers as to where things could potentially go next, and I really am just so excited to see where the story ends up. I know I'm only probably, I don't even know how far, maybe a quarter into the story so far, and I've got so much more to do, but I really just don't want the story to end because it's just, honestly an amazing experience to have. As for negatives, obviously, you know, I've talked a lot about positives, and, you know, people in the comments may call me a bit of a shill or whatever, but honestly, the game is just that good. The only downside that I have at the moment is slight performance issues every now and then, especially when transitioning from the game world to a cutscene and stuff. It's a really smooth process, but I found that quite a lot of the time at those points, now I'm playing on PlayStation 5, the frames do drop a little bit every now and then, and I also have noticed quite a bit of screen tearing as well from time to time, but hopefully that's something that can be sorted out in an update. But besides that, the game is so smooth. I'm having an amazing experience with it so far, and I hope you all enjoy it as much as I am. Please do feel free to let me know what you think about it in the comments, and obviously if you are playing the game at the moment, please don't spoil it for anyone else in the comments, or for either myself or just for anyone else, because you will get banned from the channel. I don't really want to be doing that, but make sure you are subscribed to the channel, guys, because I'm going to be doing so much Jedi Survivor content over the next few weeks and months. That is it from me today, though. Thank you all very much for watching, and may the Force be with you always.